Welcome in, Cowboys Nation, to another episode of the Sky Into Eye Show. I'm your host, Skywalker Still, here with the lovely Aisha Morrison, a.k.a. 2I. We back, baby, and we ready.
What's up with it's been a while. What's up, man?
I had to bring it in with a little, we ready. This is one of my favorite tunes I got in the soundboard here. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a look at the Cowboys offense and how they performed in week 2 versus the Giants, and honestly take a little bit of a peek into week 3 with the Bears as well. But for obvious reasons, the nation was focused on just how bad the defense performed, giving up over 450 yards of offense, over 500 yards, I think, of offense total to the New York Giants, who had no business doing that. And there's a whole lot of blame to go around from that. And I do think it kind of has overshadowed another good performance from the Cowboys offense. And I wouldn't say dare I say, of course it was a better performance, but I think it was better for a multitude of different reasons. And it wasn't the cleanest. And I want to talk about all of that with you, get your thoughts on that. And of course, Cowboys Nation, if you're listening, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, share this thing, and give us your thoughts as well in the comments. How you feeling after the week 2 game? In general, it was a crazy one, but also just offensively, your takeaways from Shoddy, because I feel like that was encouraging.
I think my takeaways from him were, I think I heard you mention this, is the ability to adjust, to say, you know what, like, we can toss this ball around, so let's do that. I think also too, you start looking at how I think he is putting the quarterback in position to do things that he does well. So you're talking about those deep digs, those deep over routes, and some of that stuff really pushing the ball down the field. I think that we're seeing Dak Prescott play well because Shoddy is giving him the green light to be aggressive. And I feel like in past years we looked at Dak and people would consider him conservative or consider him conservative at times or whatever the case may be. And so I think that's the part that stands out to me. I think the head coach and the play caller is putting the offense in positions to, and putting the quarterback in positions to do the stuff he does well. Um, yeah, because I think that Dallas tried to come out and attack the edge. And once he realized, hey, like, my tight ends and my tackles aren't getting out there blocking well enough to be doing this, then it's immediately attacking the intermediate to deep parts of the field. And they saw success with that last week.
Yeah, I love, it's funny because I'm 2 weeks in a row now, I'm watching the offense play out. And again, I've had confidence in Shoddy of making this a modernized offense. But when I see it actually happening, I go back to you coming back and reporting from OTAs and training camp and mini camp and things of, hey, man, over routes. Hey, man, Javonte Turpin's doing this. Hey, motion. And it's like, we're seeing it. And now at some point, it'll be so normal that we won't be coming here talking about all this cool misdirection and motion and things like that. But I'm still giddy about it because it is so different and it works. Like this, you see how efficient this offense can be when it's working. The tempo. There was a point in time, I think the third or fourth quarter, getting to the line quick.
Loved it.
The tempo.
I love that too.
Switching it up. His ability to adapt within that game, which was I feel like it was a tough game for him to, I don't want to say attack, but for him to manage, because you had a defense that couldn't stop anybody, right? And you had an offensive line that was struggling to pass protect. That's tough. Because do you say, all right, we can't be too aggressive because we got to slow it down so our defense isn't on the field, but we also can't be conservative because there are opportunities in this zone, or opportunities when they do man up to make big plays. That was trickier than it may have seemed during the game, but I thought he managed it well. I thought he bounced back from his mistakes well, right? Tried to get a little cute early in the game. They did a whole lot of max protect, sending 2 guys out. He kind of faded from that a little bit. I was just, again, impressed, and I know Cowboys Nation might be like, oh, it's the love phase for Shoddy, it's the honeymoon. Hey, man, I'm seeing some really good things that I think can carry over throughout the rest of the season.
Do people feel like that?
You know how it is. I don't know if people do. I'm just saying people may think, oh, honeymoon phase, that whole thing. Eventually, when something bad happens, you'll talk this, that. Yes, I'm going to call him out when it does happen, like I did when he made a bad play. But I think what he is doing is sustainable, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and then also too, you talk about the red zone efficiency. 3 for 3 in the red zone. That's a big part of it. The
Third in
Cowboys
the
have
league in the
Yeah,
red
3rd
zone.
in the league. They have struggled there, in previous years, about 43%, on 3rd downs. I think that number could still be a little better, but that's it's not bad at all, I guess, especially given what was going on. I think also too, you're not getting fantastic starting field position at this point as well. I mean, obviously, Cavante Turpin was out there, but when he wasn't out there, Jalen Tolbert was returning, and I don't know how that's going to change. But I'm looking for them to improve their starting field position. Hopefully, Cavante Turpin is good to go. I know we're going to get into that
Yep.
too.
Hey, you
Yeah.
talk about third down offense, number one in the league and third
Hmm.
down conversion rate. I mean, this offense is so number one in the league in third down conversion rate, number three in red zone percentage, top five scoring offense.
Mm.
I think you have one of the most, one of the best passing attacks there, top 10 in passing touchdowns. Or, oh, I shouldn't say passing touchdowns. That's it's too early for that. They're number three, I think, in attempts. I see it here, seventh in yards, and 13th in yards per attempt.
Mhm.
I think it is it's going to get even better
Mhm.
as it goes on. But the real story for me, aside from the clutch performances of the core four, which before I move on, let's kind of talk about that quickly.
Mhm.
The core four, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Cavante Turpin, Jake Ferguson. I
Mhm.
thought all four of them had massive moments in this game that helped you win. And I think that's who they're going to have to lean on in these certain times. And they came through for the Cowboys, specifically George Pickens with a great, I don't want to say bounce back game from a production standpoint, but a bounce back game from a mental standpoint. He clearly understood the assignment.
Oh yeah, and then also too, you hear some of the guys like Tyler Smith and some of the other gentlemen talking about like him checking himself in a sense and being very encouraging throughout the
Mm-hmm.
game, not only, applying himself through the week as well. Sounds like he was really locked in during the week as well. And that's all we're looking for, right? You know what I'm saying? Like for guys to adjust, to correct themselves, to take accountability. And you could see even in the game, just the effort and just the awareness was more prominent in that particular play where George Pickens is running that deep dig. First of all, I thought the play was designed well, but Dak checked into that because I think he saw something that he liked. And also too, when you look at him in his drop, I think that if I'm not mistaken, he took a few extra steps in that drop to really survey the field and figure out what he wanted because he could have went either or. I think that he took the harder throw with Pickens, but the way his accuracy has been, he's just tossing the ball around the field like crazy. And also too with George Pickens, the way he snatches the ball out of the air, man, like
Got the
his
hands,
hands
man.
are so strong.
Got them
His
hands.
hands are so strong. But yeah, the quarterback is playing at a really high level, and I think that that makes obviously everybody look better. I think the ball distribution is something that, to your point, Sky, that stood out, and you need to be able to be like that, so people can't just hone in on one guy or hone in on one player. I like the usage of Cavante Turpin on the middle of the field as well, and I think that's the most we've seen. Not tripping. Is that maybe the most we've seen consistently from him in a game?
I think he was on
Start
his
at the very least.
I think he was on his way to a career year or career season. Career game. Had he not been injured, he had four receptions, roughly 50 yards
Mhm.
prior to going out. I think it was a whole quarter left, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, before he got injured. So yeah, I think that's the most we've seen from a usage standpoint in that short period of time for
Mhm.
Cavante Turpin. Hopefully, he will be back this week. We did hear about his neck strain and that he seems fine. I think
Mhm.
Shotty mentioned that he'll have a chance to go. I mentioned this earlier to his importance to the offense is clearly showing. And if he is not there, I think there's some things they'll have to do more traditionally from a misdirection type of situation, pre-snap motion
Mhm.
type thing, because he gives you the ability to be multiple in how you do it. Because you're not doing that with Javonte. I don't believe that Sanders can do that, and there's no other receiver that does that. The only other guy that could potentially do that is a guy they refuse to play right now because they don't believe he's ready, and that's Jaden Blue. So
Mm.
having Cavante Turpin out there, I think it will be huge this week.
Yeah, I thought you made a good point the other day, that, with emotions and the way that they're using him is that, even if he's not getting the ball, like, we are gonna start getting to a point to where, people are gonna honor it as he moving across the line. I saw Dak. get a good amount of information from the motions, figuring out if they were a man and stuff this past game, reading at the line of scrimmage. So it serves purpose for spacing, and hit the threat of his speed, because that's what you were just talking about, is like the more that you show that you are willing to pass him the ball and things like that. And you heard him on sides of the sideline talking. Turpin was like, he's scared every time he line up against me. Most
Mm-hmm.
people be.
Yeah.
Most people will be, because of the quickness and the ability to run past people. So I hope that that's something we continue to see. Sounds like he has a trap strain, so it's this muscle back here from your neck to like here. So it sounds like he has a strain in it. They're just gonna treat it, and we'll see how he is, because you need him on returns, because your special teams is struggling too. But we ain't gonna go there today.
Only ones that
Besides the
aren't
kicker and the punter,
and the returner. I mean,
in the
your
return.
coverage is the issue. It's not
Hmm.
everything else is there. It's the coverage of the issue. But you also saw, obviously one of the main reasons you can get the middle of the field is because of the respect that the Giants had to show when you put Lamb and Pickens on opposite sides. And I'm not big on putting them on the same side in red zone like we saw. I don't like that play. They ran that a lot last year too. It makes it too easy for the defense, for the flat defender to peel back into that back of the end zone trying to
Like the
throw it
level
to.
thing.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd
That they
rather
were practicing that in
I'd
camp.
rather put them on the opposite sides and make the defense have to pick and choose, which opens up the middle. And I
Hmm.
bring that up because you saw Javonte Turpin take advantage of that for the touchdown, but you also saw Jake Ferguson get spammed down the seam
Hmm.
again. So last year they would not go through the seam shot ball wasn't there regularly. It was
Hmm.
all flats fried hard. This year it's a lot of flats, but if it ain't flats, it's that seam shot. And
Okay.
he's about probably about 75, 80% catch rate. Now I know he had a couple one drop last week in the seam and then another drop this week, but 9 receptions on 11 targets for 78 yards and a couple huge receptions. I thought Jake Ferguson down the seam was much better in this game. And we talked about that coming into the season. He's going to be a guy that is going to be rewarded for having Lamb and Pickens take coverage away from you down the middle. So he has to continue to secure the rock. And I would like to see him get in the end zone.
Hmm.
They're not really using him in the red zone just yet, but that's because you're getting the many red zone touchdowns from
Well,
from the run game. So you don't really need it just yet.
yeah. I mean, and the shots that they have taken, like I said it once, I said again. You play tight end for this quarterback, you better put your chin strap on real tight
Yeah.
on those seam balls. And I think they went there a couple times last week. Another thing too, if I'm not mistaken, Jake Ferguson has 40 yards in yak in the last 2 games, which may not sound like a lot to a lot of people, but for a tight end, I'm like, okay, I'm not mad at that. I think that's just showing that he's still has the ability, because that's to me what makes him special, is the yards after catch, the way that he can kind of maneuver through tackles and slip tackles and stuff like that. I know that that's something people have been worried about with him coming back from injury. I think him kind of continuing to kind of show that and build upon that will be helpful. Um, but yeah, not with the tight end usage. Oh, also too, the big pass from Dak in overtime
That's
to get
clutch.
them
I mean, he had some clutch
huge,
catches in that game.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, huge. That was a huge catch to
Down the
get them.
seam.
Yeah, yeah, it was a huge catch to get them in position. And so I don't know why people are really coming down on Ferg. I understand the drops in the red zone and stuff that, yeah, people want to have back and stuff, but it'll be all right,
Yeah, I
y'all.
think he's fine. I think he'll be fine. I like to see a little bit more Brev. I thought Brev is showcasing
He's
some
blocking.
yeah,
He
yeah.
blocking his tail out. You hear me?
Yeah, I
I
want to
think
see him
that
get
he is
rewarded for it.
vastly improved.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gotten stronger, which is what he told me last year in the locker room, is like that he was just trying to it's there's college strong, and then there's, and Jay Ferguson talked to me about that too. His second year. He had to get rid of that baby fat and really put on like some muscle, because even if you're a blocking tight end in college, the people you blocking in the NFL, like these is they're different.
And technique.
And
Brev
technique as
struggled
well,
with technique
absolutely.
big time in Minnesota. Did you see the
Mm,
highlight plays of his blocking? Because he's just 6'7", 270, right? So I mean, he's
mhm.
bigger than you. But when somebody had better technique than him, he looked terrible doing it. So it was very hit or miss in college. Year one, it was hit or miss. But I think you see him cleaned up. You see him tighter. You see him, and that's again Connor Riley. and Clayton Adams' effect, in my opinion. And Lunda Wells works well with them too, but they're working with the O-line in that. Remember, we saw at camp Connor Riley
Mhm.
working with the tight end. So I would like to see him be rewarded moving forward.
Yeah, Dallas got into the play action game a little bit. Like, how do you feel? So, how are you feeling about the run game?
Let's talk about it, baby. Let's
Let's talk
talk
about
about
it.
it,
Let's
man.
talk about it. What are you feeling about this run
Clayton
game, brother?
Adams effect.
He a little crazy. Yeah, he a little crazy.
Oh, no, no, no. This is a good thing.
It's good crazy.
Clayton Adams in Indianapolis, Clayton Adams in Arizona. The very first year he's been there, he has turned their run games from
Oh,
porous
my bad.
to technically one of the best top 10 running attacks. I didn't expect it to be one of the best, but you know what I said, and I keep on hammering home. Clayton Adams and Connor Riley are going to make this run game better. How
Mhm.
much better will obviously be determined by the running backs, and if this run blocking can be better. I think both are better, and I think he's helping Javonte Williams revive his career right now. Javonte
Mm.
Williams, I think, complements what Clayton Adams wants to do so well. Get downhill, be powerful. He breaks tackles. He's smart. He has that know-how too. That ability to read, the vision. Just a very. He's a pro. He's a pro's pro for this specific offense. Here's some numbers for you. They're 7th in yards per carry, 3rd in rush touchdowns, 8th in success percentage, 11th in total yards, tie for fifth in 10+ yard rushes. And Javonte Williams, for the first time in his entire career, has a positive rush EPA. He was the 5th worst running back over the last 2 years in rush EPA. He gets
Mhm.
his first 2 games under Clayton Adams, and he has for the first time ever, he's in the positive. That is to me all Clayton. That is to me also. I'll give them credit. I shouldn't say all. That's not fair. But that is a lot of Clayton Adams and Brian Schottenheimer having a plan, sticking with the plan, but also not being stubborn with it. I am very encouraged with the run game with Javonte Williams. But I'm looking forward to when they start to really do the tandems aspect of it with
Mm.
hopefully Jaden Blue, or go get another guy to help Javonte, because I don't want Javonte to be 2025 touch guy. Now we're in week 14 and he's not the same back, because that's not his game. He's a guy you want, 12 to 17 touches, and then let's hammer it home and he can finish the game type situation. It's kind of how I look at it. But I like the run game so far.
Yeah, also 4th in yards after catch in the NFL. I just under Jonathan Taylor, Travis Etienne, Derrick Henry. He's at 4 point. Well, yeah, he's at 4.1 yards after contact. So, I mean, to your point, I think the coaches are putting him in a good position, doing some of the things he does well. And at some point in time, here's the thing, and I really hope that if they do add another gentleman to this room, that you start get some respect. Get like something, from this run game, and
Can you
put this.
elaborate? I didn't know what you
What I
meant.
mean by that is like them people allocating resources to stop your run, or not just not caring about what you're doing in the run
Like
game. Not
like
saying that people do that now, but
load the box.
yeah,
Oh, see, I think that's going to be a tricky situation, because if I'm
because
a
you can't, because the
defense,
back end
yes,
you picking the receiving, and that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. And I get that, but
So
I
you got to
wonder.
take advantage of it.
And I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess that's more so what I was saying, because most, to your point, Sky, most people aren't going to choose to stop the run over stopping the pass. But to your point
No,
about
no, 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 no. They won't choose to. They won't choose to stop Javonte Williams over George
over the
Pickens and
pass,
C.D.
yeah,
Lamb. Not just the pass, but
mm,
George Pickens
is in
and
C.
C.D. Lamb. Like you're, because I will give up 4, 5, 6 yards. I'll even give up an 8, 9, 10 yard run before I give up a 30, 40, 50 yard, completion or big potential play to those guys.
See what we're, but what that's why you're looking for explosives. That's why I'm
And he's
hoping that
giving
you
it
can
to you.
get a yes. That's why I'm hoping you can get, if you do get another, if you do get another if you do get another guy in here like a Jadon Blue, or just someone that is,
Then you want
I
that
don't know.
lightning. Look, you want the lightning to his thunder. I
Yeah.
love that he's a thunder guy, and he is getting you explosive. That's the first 20+ yard touchdown we've had, I think, since Tony Pollard. Maybe the first 30+ yard touchdown we had since Tony Pollard in 2022.
Mm.
Again, they're 5th in the league in 10+ yard rushes. I don't think Cowboys had 10 of those in the first 10 weeks of the season. Now, I'm joking, but it took a while for them to get there. But if you can get that lightning to his thunder, I remember Skip Pete how he talked about how at the time where it was a decent 1-2 punch between Zeke and Tony, you
Mhm.
had linebackers and linemen like, okay, this is the style of Zeke. And oh snap, I didn't even realize Tony was back there. Next thing you know, he's way quicker through the line or that cut, and he's gone for a touchdown. You gotta have that because what did we see in that game? Too, I love Javonte, but there was a good amount of times where it's like, there's that side of what he doesn't have the wiggle. He's not gonna capture the edge right away. He's not gonna see it's clogged here to take it outside, and he's you can't catch him. That is not his game. So he while he did have some of those 10 plus
He
yard
did,
rushes,
yeah.
he has some one, -1, 1, 0, 2. Because that's not, that's not his game. He's a thunder.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that there were a couple times where he was able to see the rush and bounce it outside, but to your point, it's not gonna be super duper fast. It
And
might
it's
be
not his game.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not his game. So you can't depend on him to consistently do it. But to your point, to your dang, did you hear that?
I did. You're fine though.
Lord, it's loud. I thought my phone was on do not disturbs. But anyway, no, I do I feel like to your point about the run scheme, we obviously the loss of Cooper Beebe feels a little significant in that sense,
Hey, how do you feel about that with Brock Hoffman coming in?
Um, I think a center is one of the easiest positions to hide. I think you got some legitimate strength on the other side of him. I think you do lose some of the power. I think you lose some of the power that you had from Cooper Beebe. Sometimes Brock Hoffman can get a little high, even though he does have the temperament that you want to play, that position. It sounds like they brought another gentleman in
Yeah,
as well.
something French. I was just looking at
I
that.
think it's Wesley French, if
Yep,
I'm not
Wesley
mistaken.
French from the
Yeah,
Colts.
they brought in Wesley French. Sounds like he is familiar with Clayton Adams. He spent time with him in Indy. I think a lot of this also too is because the backup to Brock Hoffman right now would be TJ Bass. And TJ Bass has not had real game in moments playing center. He is far better as a left guard or right guard, whatever.
Right.
And so I think that this is just kind of insurance. But I say all that to say that I don't think you're gonna die. I do think that the things that you were doing with BB, some of them are a little the footwork that it requires to be able to do those things is I don't know if that's Brock Hoffman's best suit. Like, did you see that one play where you see BB I think he kind of chipped on the right side that he literally dosey dos to the other
Pirouette.
side? Yeah.
I think
Like,
Brock can do that.
you
I've
think he
seen
has the footwork
Biotish
to
do
do it?
that.
Okay.
It's a popular play now. I remember I first saw that and it sticks out of my head. I think it was the Packers game in the playoffs. They
Mhm,
kind of did that and they pulled and it's like it's a pass play, right? He turns
mhm,
around, he's pass blocking. I don't think Brock has a problem with that. I think what they'll do is they'll lean into what Brock does well, and it's
yeah,
different from what BB does well. I love what Duke said. Duke said there's things Brock does better than Cooper BB. There's things that BB do that BB does better than Brock Hoffman.
mhm,
And the beautiful thing is we don't have a stubborn offensive line coach. We have an offensive line coach that is publicly on record said, "Hey, when I got to Arizona, we did well, I wanted to do XYZ, but then I realized I got a center that is not a power guy. I got a center that
mhm,
can get out in space, that can pull, that can trap, that can do these type of things." And he leaned into that. Next thing you know, Connor, James Conner is one of the better, more efficient running backs and one of the more efficient running games. So my confidence, not necessarily, if I had to split it, my confidence is, and it's not a negative. My confidence is, I'll say 70% in Clayton and 30% Brock. And that's not saying
fair.
I'm not confident in Brock. It's just that I'm so confident in Clayton Adams being able to adapt to the strengths of Brock Hoffman. Now, my concerns with Brock is after the first three games, how is he going to look?
Mm,
Because he is a quality backup in short spurts, but what you end up seeing as it goes on and on and on, like, ooh, okay, there's this is why he's a career backup. He's
mhm.
not a 17 game starter. So if he has to go 8 games for you, it's going to be after that third one where it's like, okay, how are we looking now? Again, still confident in Clayton, but that's where I'm going to be paying attention to after about the third, fourth game for him.
Yeah, definitely, and, I think, working snaps because the one thing I did notice with Cooper Beebe early in that game, Dexter Lawrence being over the top of him. Some of those snaps was high when Brock Hoffman came
You
in.
see
Some of
that
those
big
snaps were
boy.
high. Yeah, some of those snaps were high from Brock Hoffman. So just get in rhythm and timing with the quarterback, so he can get into his drops comfortably and to set his feet when he needs to. So I'm really looking at just how these guys handle interior pressure. You're gonna deal with a little bit of it this week. I know that the Bears are not like some super crazy defensive line, but they do have some guys that can penetrate and cause some and be disruptive up front. So
Yeah, I
mhm.
broke them down today. I think this you welcome this Bears defensive line more than you did the last week's opponent.
Yeah, that's gonna be one of
Um,
the harder ones you play. They're a good
mm,
mixture of
yeah,
speed,
that's one of the best.
versatility, power. I mean, they can really give it to you. And like one thing about the Giants, they might suck, but that defensive line gonna
It's
be
going to
good.
be it's going to be a
It's gonna
problem
be
for a
good.
lot of people.
It don't matter with
Yeah,
them.
it's going to be
So
tough. Yeah, this one. I mean, if you want to get into that matchup real
we don't have
quick,
to. I'm
no,
sorry.
no,
I be
no, that
cheating.
no, you're fine. I actually want to because we're talking about this offensive line here. Grady Jarrett is
Mhm,
a veteran. Kind of reminds me of a Kenny Clark in a sense. Not a guy that's a dominant guy. Hasn't really had the greatest of starts. The Bears defense has been very poor against the run, against the pass, against everything. They just haven't been good.
mhm,
But Grady Jarrett is a guy you have to pay attention to. Make sure he doesn't beat you continually. He'll win. He'll win a handful of a few times at least. I saw him win against the Lions. And then Montez Sweat, I think, is going to be a challenge for the tackles. And I'm going to put a pin in that quickly. But he's going to be a challenge for the tackle. Power player that I think has a good it's like secondary move to try to beat you. It's not going to beat you with any dip or bend, nothing like that. But he knows how to rush the passer. He's good at it. They traded the second round pick for him. Ironically, it was Matt Eberflus who did it,
mhm,
and he's been good for them. But that's where it ends to me, and that's the difference between the Giants defensive line and this defensive line is that the Giants defensive line, their top players are elite. And then they have really good players underneath them. Where the
mhm,
Bears top players, they're good, they're respectable, but they don't have that depth across the board to really they shouldn't, in my opinion, have the depth across the board to give you so much problems.
mhm.
And Dennis Allen doesn't blitz. He blitzes less than Eberflus, believe it or not, y'all. 8% of the time per PFR. So I think, watching the Bears defense, if you do a lot of the things that you already do, which Detroit does, and that's a lot of misdirection, pre-snap stuff, boy, they have a
Absolutely.
hard
They
time.
struggle with
They
that. They
have a
struggle with that.
hard time. And when you don't, when you play straight up, well, it's easier for them. But as long as we stick to what we do, the Cowboys should be able to move this ball on them.
Yeah, and then also too, the linebacker Noah Sewell, he is a guy that can be all over the damn field, and when they
I
do
think he's their
blitz,
backup, right?
yeah,
TJ Edwards, I think, is out. I was
yeah,
hoping TJ Edwards would play. That's no disrespect to TJ Edwards, but he was getting, he was fine to scrub mouse in the house
yeah.
against Detroit. They were attacking TJ Edwards.
Yeah, but yeah, Noah Sewell came in and he's kind of that everywhere player. And then also too, they will blitz him when they do decide to blitz, sometimes it does come back from the linebacker position, and he's a guy that can do that. So the Cowboys communication is gonna have to be good. I believe that I saw that they are ranked pretty decently with their blitz pickups, if I'm not mistaken. The Cowboys offensive line. Dang, I didn't skip past it. I thought I bookmarked it. Tater tots. But anyway, yeah,
That's a Dak Prescott Cooper BB stat right there.
yeah. I mean, Dak Prescott. Also too. I think he was 13 of 19 against the blitz last week. I can't remember how many yards he's had. I think like 139. I think it was. Against the blitz, he's just 149 and a touchdown. He's just seeing the field incredibly well,
Yeah.
Sky. And another thing that the Bears do that I noticed is they will drop their defenders from the line of scrimmage in coverage. We'll say one thing about Dak Prescott is that in training camp, in his training camp,
Every
but
training camp, he throws a pick doing that.
that gave him trouble for some reason. I don't know what it was. It was really weird. It was like, and Nealon was the one that was catching him, which is really
Sam
weird.
Williams got
And
one.
Sam Williams, them dropping those defensive ends into coverage. Sometimes he just didn't see them. So not sure that that's something that's gonna happen this week, but it is something to make note of because that is something that the Bears do a little bit more frequently, you know?
Hey man, if you wanna just rush two then or three, by all means do it because then
I
Dak
beg
has
of
more
thee.
time to sit back there. Because this isn't you can I feel like you can do that in the West Coast because there was a whole bunch of slants. We are over routes, we are drag routes. we got really good concepts, man. I'm really excited for what this offense
Mhm.
can be moving forward. Um,
Yeah, we should be. Should
in
be.
closing here with the offensive line, the tackle struggled in this game
Mm.
against the Giants. And look, we came into this one, I did at least, saying if the Giants had any chance to win this ball game, it was going to be attacking the tackles because that's where their advantage was the whole damn line. But the big ones, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, like those guys were a mismatch to our tackles. And they fought their asses off and they got beat, but
Mhm.
they won some too. But that was not a great showing from the tackles. And right now, the talk of the town is replacing one of the tackles. I don't think they're going to replace Tyler Guyton anytime soon. If they're going to replace anybody, I think it'd be Terrence Steele. So I do think he is on watch, according to what Stephen Jones said in regards to how Nate Thomas is putting pressure on both of these tackles. So I'm going to be watching, as we should, how these tackles respond in this game.
When they said that, when it was reported that Jerry said that, was it Jerry or
Steven,
Steven?
Steven
It was
said it on the
Steven.
radio.
When it was reported that Steven said that on the radio, I was like, huh?
I think,
Because
yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, that's okay.
it kind of shocked me. It kind of shocked me because I was just like, obviously Guyton is getting back from injury, but like with Terrence Steele, it's like, damn, that's how y'all feeling about Terrence Steele. But I mean, it has. I think that in the run game and some of the stuff that they're doing in the run game do cater to him. But with the pass protection, he's so high. He can't anchor like that.
That's the main problem. The
He's never
power.
been a powerful guy though,
That's the
but
problem.
he still I feel like understood leverage a little bit better at the start of like his career. I don't like he is getting ran past and
No,
driven back
ran
a
through.
lot.
he,
Yeah,
he getting ran through. He play that's 6'6" length. He doesn't, the knee bend is not always, and actually no,
it's never
sometimes it is there, but
sometimes
I think his chest is just so high, but he's just not powerful. And I kept watching. I'm like, because he had some really good reps against Kayvon Thibodeau, and it was almost every time Kayvon Thibodeau decided to not bull rush him. It's like, okay, Terrence is winning here. Boy, as soon as anybody decided to put their head in his chest, it was curtains. And I think Nate Thomas is a guy that shouldn't struggle with that because he's more of a powerful player to me. And it's not even technique for me. Which I think Terrence has good hand. He's better hands. He weren't good
he's
before,
better
but
hands.
his
Yes.
hands are way better. I think it's the opposite when you go look at Guyton. Guyton is better. He's been better anchoring, believe it or
Mhm.
not. But Guyton's technique has had him looking like Olay sometimes, where you see his face in the ground because he's not there with his hands yet. So one of y'all got to have peanut butter with the jelly cereal with the milk. One
You're
of y'all.
going First of all, you're going to jail because why would you say Olay? Why would you say that?
I mean, sometimes that's what it looks
Listen,
like.
listen,
Yeah.
let me tell you, I looked at that clip of Hudson popping James Houston in
The bow.
behind you.
Hey, James,
Christy,
James Houston
Chris,
better than me. I'd have like, we got to see me, bro. Mike.
Christy told us that used to be okay back in the day.
It did. You ever heard of Deacon Jones?
She explained that to me, and
Okay.
I said, "So y'all was just letting people pop people
But
upside the
look, but
head?"
Deacon Jones was the pass rusher doing that. Like, go look up Deacon Jones explaining it. It's the funniest thing ever because it's like, hey, that is a, why wouldn't you? It's a cheat code. Pop them upside the head. They close their eyes for 2 seconds or whatever. And you're in the backfield. Deacon
Bro,
Jones
you're
might lead the league in sacks for real, for real. They just they didn't qualify it back then.
Bro, you're sick. All right, so I know we got to get out of here. What? I
Yeah.
got a question for you.
What's your question,
Are you at all curious about?
Mike? Mike.
I didn't even do that. Um, what are you at all curious about Hunter Lipke's usage right now?
Yeah, come on, man. You pay. It ain't like he getting paid a crazy amount of money. But when they signed him right before week 1, correct? I was like, oh, here we go, baby. Kyle use check. Let's do it. No.
Do you think it's because he's and again, it ain't even always pretty when he's helping block, but do you think that's also why?
So
I'm
I have
asking you what
never
you see.
been a Hunter Lipke be the lead blocker full time guy. Never. I've
Mhm.
always wanted to look at him as a combination of a use check as a weapon in the pass
Mhm.
game, run, and then also John Kuhn run game. But yes, obviously block because to me he's more of an H back. Um, I don't think it has to do with blocking necessarily. I don't have an answer. I would love if you ask somebody down there because the things we saw at camp, they're not doing those things with him. And I personally think, and y'all can crucify me if you want. I'd almost rather let's see him run the ball too.
Yeah.
Like
Why not?
I think he can run. That to me, he's more of a weapon as a pass catcher and runner than he is a blocker. Has he improved from year one? Yes, I will admit that. But to the point where I'm just going to exclusively use him like he's Lorenzo Neal, give me a break. He's not Lorenzo Neal. He is more. He is more of a combination of a runner that can do it. And when I say use check is an amazing blocker. So, but I wanted him to be our poor man's version of on the move, get out in the flats, like
And that's what they were doing with him all that's all I've seen that
and then John Kuhn ran the ball too. That's why I said a mix of John Kuhn, who ran the ball as a fullback, and Juszczyk, who was a move guy. Use the both.
yeah, I'm very curious. So tomorrow we get to talk to the coordinators. I'll ask Clayton
Please.
Adams about him, because I am
And let's
curious.
keep this in mind too. I don't know that they're revealing everything either. Not saying they're saving plays or anything, but I think there's so much more in their pocket that they just haven't
Had to
haven't
use
shown
that.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's okay. That's
Yeah. I'm not
to
complaining
me
about it because I think what they've shown is encouraging.
yeah, no, I agree too. But I do think, like, Miles Sanders had what, 3 snaps? 3 carries rather
Yeah,
last
yeah,
week?
3 or 4 carries. Yeah.
He had, like, 3 or 4 carries last week. When Javonte Williams needs a breather sometimes, like, it's okay to mix Lipke in
Licky.
there right now too, like,
Licky.
and also too from the receiving aspect on, like, 3rd downs and things like that,
He can
like,
catch the ball.
he can catch the ball and he got some wheels. He got nice little wheels on him. So I will ask tomorrow, maybe try to get a little bit of information about what's going on there because I'm like, what
Hey,
the
look,
hey?
I don't know how you watch Cam Scatterbo over there, and you don't say, "Hey, let's see if we can get a little bit of that from our guy," and put some
He is
energy.
crazy.
Yeah, Cam
You said
Scatterbo, he's a wild
they
boy.
showed their sounds of the sideline thing. He snatches Russell Wilson like this and is like, and Russell's like, he
That's a
snatched.
footballing dude, man. Look,
He is
he ain't gonna be
crazy as
around too long
catnip.
the way he play, but that's a footballing dude.
Yeah,
Hey,
that noggin.
that's going to do it for today's episode. Really good stuff here, as always. You do fantastic work. I'm looking forward to next week getting back with you on this Bears game. Cowboys Nation, let us know in the comments how you feel about what you saw offensively coming out of week 2 and kind of your thoughts on what you are looking forward to from this offense in week 3. I'm still running high, I'm still running high. I think this is going to be a fun year for this offense, at least. We ain't saying
Yeah,
nothing about
don't let
the other
yeah,
side. Yeah.
in the comments, please don't do the cliche. Don't say, "Oh, well, the offense is gonna be good, and they gonna have to like but the defense
But the
not." We're
defense,
not
yeah, yeah.
talking about them. We're not talking about them today. We are talking about the offense. Y'all,
You know what it is. Hey, look, I'm not telling you not to engage. By the way,
yeah, yeah. Ain't nobody saying don't do that. Please do.
engage. Please engage. But yeah, I am curious
Mhm,
on the fans, um, on your thoughts about the offense so far because I get it. Like we said at the top of the show, and rightfully so.
mhm,
Most of what came out of that game was the concerns defensively and how we have to correct those concerns. And I'll say this because it's not a defensive show. I'm not for firing Eberflus or anything like that. What I am for is
mm,
having everybody be better this week. If be better
yes.
means adapting, if be better means personnel changes, if they're not going to make personnel changes, then everybody that struggled last week needs to improve. We saw that happen with Kenneth Murray. Week 1 was a bad game on film for Kenneth Murray. Week 2, much better game for Kenneth Murray.
Mhm,
So all other players on that defense that struggled in week 2, whether it be from just flat out being bad, miscommunication, whatever it may be, we just want to see improvement for week 3 because one week, especially in the first 2 weeks of the season, does not make a full season. You have plenty of time to prove that you can be better. If you're not, then I think
yeah.
that's when we need to start making some changes if they don't.
Well, yeah, help your defense. Help your defense coach, and the players got to help out too and do their side of things. But yeah,
Hey, if I
help
was
your pass rush too, dog, because
if
they
I
need
was
it.
one of the I would have looked over at Flus and said, what Kevin Hart say? Help me.
Bruh,
Do
cause
it.
I was looking at the game, rewatching the game, and I'm like, I'm mad at the pass rush, but at the same time, they not gonna get there because you giving them a 6-yard
You get
cushion off the
6 yards
rip.
off the line, oh, just turn around 5 yards. Pow.
You're
You know,
going against the. Sorry, we're going into it again, but
no,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. Because it does get you frustrated. Because from
Mhm.
there was again they weren't merged together. It was just so frustrating seeing front end not complementing back end not complementing front end. Just what are we doing? It's just crazy.
It looked
Anyway,
like a whole bunch of people just out there running around. It
yeah,
looked like a whole bunch of people just out there running around. I was like, I
yeah,
can do that.
yeah,
All right,
exactly.
well,
All right, yo, we getting up out of here, man. For 2i, I am Sky. This has been the Sky and 2i show. We gone. Peace.